Welcome back, low enders. This is Steve the Bass Guy, aka Steve Rosati. I'm checking in with you with Bass Musician Magazine once again, and today what we're going to do is we're going to look at another technique. So this one is going to be based around left hand muting. So we looked at right hand muting and palm muting on the last thing where we were kind of going through and palm muting with this part of our palm. Now this one is a different technique. This is a left hand mute. So a left hand mute, we're going to achieve a very similar mute, but with a different approach. And this approach is going to offer some really cool functional changes for you. And I like to use it, and it's really nice depending on what you're doing if you want to just kind of pop in and out of it, depending on how you want to control that mute. Now, this lesson is going to be short and concise, and we'll make sure that we can get you out of here with something in your bag. So you're like, hey, I want to try that out. Now, one of my favorite bass players to watch and learn from is a guy named Danny Moe. I love that dude. He has got an amazing tone, amazing playing. You might know him from Scott's Bass Lessons. An incredible bass player. One of the things I love about Danny's playing is that he uses a technique where he mutes almost every note. Now this is almost contrary to the techniques that a lot of us do, where we want to open up our hands and kind of use every finger and play around the neck. We're going for more of a rhythmic feel here rather than note-wise, where we're playing, playing all these melodic note runs. So what he does, and a lot of people will do, is they take that finger and they place it on the note. So you want to make sure that you are right behind the fret. And I'm going to pull the camera in again for this. So we're going to come up a little bit because we want to take a look at that fingerboard. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go on the E. And what I'm going to do is I'm playing that note. Now here's the note without being muted, without the muted note versus a dead note, which would be this, right? So what I am doing is I'm still holding down the note. But what I'm doing is I'm taking these three fingers and I'm placing them lightly on the string. So I'm still plucking the note, but what I'm doing is I'm muting the string in front of the note. So I'm actually causing it to die a little bit. Now, the harder I press on that string with these fingers, the deader it's going to be. So I don't want to completely deaden the note. So I want to lighten up my three fingers in front of my pointer. So I get that I can create some really cool rhythmic stuff without actually pressing down the note. It's in front, or without having to have the note really ring out. I get a lot of the bite, but not a lot of the bark, let's say in that case. So I'm going to do that again. So I bring this finger on now. I'm doing it on E. So those are all my E's right there, my octaves. And what I'm going to do is place that finger there, and I'm just thumping with I'm just doing 1-2 on my right hand. And I'm just playing that note right there. I'm just muting it. Let me show you again. So I place my finger down, place these fingers in front, and now what a lot of people will do is, so they'll play. And they'll just kind of slide it around as they play. So you might find that's a great tool in your toolbox if you're playing a line and you just want to add in a little bit of thump. Great for getting some of that thump in there, right? Again, let's watch it again. So we bring the finger on. Place the other fingers in front. So if you were to run, say, let's practice a scaled using this. So I want to control that, so I gotta get my fingers right there. Of time. It takes a little bit of time to get comfortable with that and how much you want to actually mute in there. And it's a really cool vibe. It gives you a nice feel. It's great. You might not use it everywhere, but it's nice maybe in a bridge and you want to just, you just want to throw in some changes. instead of changes the whole vibe of those notes. So palm, this is the left hand mute. So again, remember the fingers go down and you're pretty much driving all with this finger, and the other fingers are kind of riding along. So they're kind of muting those notes in front. You're kind of controlling the bloom of that note. So you're preventing it from really blooming by how you organize these fingers in front of that pointer. So the note isn't really blooming and you're controlling it and you're getting that decay right there. So that's a really cool sound. So I think if we were to break this down, if I were sitting here with a student, I'd say, well, we control the bloom and we're forcing the decay. So we're forcing the decay a little faster. So as a note plays, it's got a natural decay that takes a little while depending on the sustain of the bass, right? And what we're doing is by putting our fingers there, we're preventing the bloom from really hitting that high mark, and we're controlling the decay and making it a little bit faster by placing that finger there. It's kind of like stuffing foam in your bridge. You know, you're kind of you're preventing the string from really blooming all the way. You're muting it. But by doing this, we're kind of giving it a little bit earlier decay. I really enjoy that. It's a technique that I really enjoy. Guys who use it a lot, like Rocco, and when you hear Rocco play, I mean he's using it right there. So it's maybe go back and listen to some of your favorite albums, especially the funk and R&B. You're going to hear a lot of that. So again, Steve the Bass Guy. This was left hand palm muting, controlling that bloom, and really bringing on the decay of that note. If you're interested in what I taught you here, if you want to go further with me, I do teach lessons online or in person if you're in the northeastern Pennsylvania, New Jersey area. You can email me at stevethebassguy@yahoo.com. This is Steve the Bass Guy. If you enjoyed these lessons, make sure you subscribe to Bass Musician Magazine for cool videos coming out all the time. Make sure that you check out the magazine regularly and see what's happening in the world of bass. The Bass Musician Magazine is always on the cusp of what's next in the bass world. Peace, love, and low notes, friends. Keep playing.